I'm just going to say it. Who needs Jimmy Butler to pack a house? All you need is PHNX Suns. Look at this place out here at Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass.
Welcome in, everybody, to the PHNX Suns pregame show live from Wild Horse Pass, Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And, of course, our pregame show is brought to you by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you, just like all the people here for the Suns watch party at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. If you're still on the way in, we encourage you to get here fast. Seats are flying. Tons of people out here for Suns Warriors, including the four of us here on PHNX Suns. I'm Eric, Steven to my right, Espo to my left, Noah behind the Mac, a little bit smaller Mac this time, making all the magic happen. Leo, Michael, Sam, Cara, Chappie, Mike from Mesa, Nathan. Thank you to everybody who's joining us here on a Friday night. Suns Warriors deemed the Butler Bowl. Espo?
When you leave here, do they say you did you?
It depends on if you did.
I'm just asking.
Well,
look, you can call this the Butler Bowl. You can call this the battle for who's going to not be in the play-in. I don't care what you call it. It's KD, it's Steph, it's Book. You're in San Francisco, and it's a close to must-win for the Suns as they try to put themselves back in a top six position. And look, there's a lot of rumors right now. There's a lot of things going on. I think it'd be easy for this team to be distracted, but they can't afford to be. They got to lock in, and they've got to play hard tonight to get a victory. No matter how the Warriors have looked, they can beat anybody on any given night with Steph.
Yeah, and why is that, Steven? Why can they win on any given night?
It's because they have a great defense. I'll start by shouting out Jerry Stackhouse. Stackhouse is brought in somewhat in place of Kenny Atkinson. And you know what the successes that he's seen with Cleveland. Jerry Stackhouse comes in and he puts together a defense and he gives them a chance to win any night, because if you enter the clutch and you have one of the clutchest players, regardless of what the numbers say, Stephen Curry can go win you a game against anybody in any building at any time. And if he detonates in the second quarter, his runs, his Curry flurries have often sustained so long that they just derail the entire course of a game.
You said second quarter. This is the Suns. It'd be the third quarter. We know that.
It might be the first quarter if we get on that route.
And you know what? The best part about the Suns is it could be any quarter.
For sure. But to that point, though, top 8 defense, this is without Draymond in the lineup, and they just held the Oklahoma City Thunder to under 110 points. Now, that's not something that almost any other defense can do, even if healthy. And they did that without Draymond.
Yeah, they won shorthanded. You see some of the Warriors fans putting out their worst starting fives of all time, which they haven't seen the darkness.
Nah.
But I want to, before we get into specifically this game, which Ryan Dunn is back starting, by the way, do you think we're going to see two distracted teams tonight at all? I know what they're going to say about trade deadline, but this is two teams that Shams have linked as the two most likely landing spots for Jimmy Butler. Now they're facing off tonight. Trade deadline is 6 days away. Do you feel like maybe that could be looming over either of these squads?
The Suns, definitely. The Warriors, no, because the Warriors know who they are. They've been that group for a while, and Steve Kerr isn't the kind of coach that's going to let you get distracted by the outside noise. The things that can stop the Warriors is injuries and that kind of thing, but it's not going to be because Jimmy Butler may or may not be coming. And I've heard those rumors, but I've also heard that Steph and others within the organization have concerns about what Jimmy might actually cause in the locker room and what might happen with that. There's so many things going on. It's why, as you all know, I love to call this subterfuge season, because every side is playing some kind of angle and you're hearing multiple things, and we don't really know what the truth is right now, and we won't find out till the deal's actually done.
For me, no, at least for the Warriors, because in these type of moments, your team is going to take on the focus of your best player or your best players. One thing Draymond is not going to be, even if he is not in the lineup, is distracted. And one thing Steph Curry is never going to be is distracted. So that team is going to bring it. They're going to play to their identity, and they're going to play through their identity on the offensive end past just the defense with giving Steph the ball and movement in scenarios that are going to compromise the defense. What are the Suns going to do? Are they going to come out and they're going to hold the ball and allow for the defense to stay set, or are they going to play to their principles?
Buddha the Schizo in the chat saying, right behind you guys. Say what's up to everybody who's all filling in here. Of course, if you are not here yet, you kind of live near the East Valley or you're just a couple minutes away, come on down. Even if you haven't RSVP'd, it's okay. Come on down, fill in. We're going to have a great time watching Suns Warriors, and we appreciate everybody in the chat. Leo, Humble Rumble, Mike, Buddha, who's in the chat, Michael, Baxter. We appreciate everybody leaving a like as well. We don't set like goals in pregame, but it, of course, is still very, very nice and appreciated if you can drop it. Let's take a look at the injury report for Suns Warriors with some Friday night action. Ty and Jalen Bridges, the two-way guys, are out. Draymond Green is out with a left calf strain, and Jonathan Kuminga also out with a right ankle sprain. So no Draymond on the court, but he could still be vocal. You're still missing out on a really good defender, especially somebody who's going to be matching up primarily, Espo, with Kevin Durant.
Yeah, look, this team and what they're missing, you should be able to beat them. But I feel like we've said that multiple times this year and have been proven wrong time and time again, right? This team is shorthanded. You got to go out there and take care of business. And Kevin Durant, is a guy that we've seen play well all year. You expect that he's going to want to kick it into that next gear, playing in San Francisco, playing against Steph, and knowing that he doesn't have to face Draymond defensively.
I mean, that part with not having to worry about Draymond defensively is certainly something. But I'm just so focused on the Suns doing what they should be doing in terms of playing to their principles, doing what they've seen be successful for them in a sustained manner. And when they get met with resistance, not fading away to the background, but quadrupling down on that. At what point in the season are you going to start doing that versus fading? That's not on any specific person. It's a collective thing. But this is going to be something that comes up multiple times in this game against the Warriors because they give a damn about defense.
Oh, you mean actually show up and show some backbone when you get punched? Yeah, that'd be nice to see from the Suns team.
You got to have it. And if you don't have the backbone but the counter punches to support your backbone, you're going to be looking like a team that is not in the position that they're trying to work towards. So it could be.
They're going to look like the team they've been then. Is what you're saying.
There could be an extra fire lit, maybe at least under one player's ass going into tonight. That could be Devin Booker, who was snubbed, was he? We don't really know. Espo and I talked about it on Southwest Bias, but he was not selected to be an All-Star in 2025 in the city that they're playing in tonight. Do we expect Book to come out firing away, playing like his ass is lit on fire?
I don't know what to expect anymore. I really hope that this is F.U. Devin Booker, right? Because that's the guy this team needs. We saw it for a stretch there, and you hope that he feels slighted. I know he said he didn't today or yesterday at practice, but I'm telling you, we've seen it before. When this guy feels slighted, that's when he takes it to another level, and this team needs that from him. Because we've seen even when him and Kevin Durant get going at the same time that they can't win. But you definitely can't win when only one of them's going. You need Devin Booker to be offended by that and to step up tonight. I just don't know that if we're going to see it.
Nine turnovers? 9 turnovers last night?
Yeah.
That's all, forget the All-Star game, the most recent game, and I got to have a game against a team that's right ahead of you in the standings. Not saying that if he eliminates all of his turnovers, that changes the game, but it makes it a whole lot easier for the Suns to navigate that late third quarter and entire stretch of the fourth quarter where they conceded the game. That's enough of a motivation factor alone for him to come out fired up and to prove a point against this team.
I do kind of wonder, too, if another factor might be might weigh into his offensive output the next 3 or 4 games. He obviously is 91 points away from having that all-time scoring record, and it would not be without the realm, within the realm of possibility for him to do it in 3 games. I mean, that's averaging a little over 30 points a game. We've seen Book do that in a 3-game stretch. I wonder if that will be part of the motivation too, to just get that, own that, and get a little good vibes going into the trade deadline.
Maybe there's a little competition going on. Who hits their mark first? Does Kevin Durant reach 30K career points, or does Devin Booker become the franchise all-time leading scorer?
Same game.
It's
going to happen the same game.
Absolutely see it happening the same game. We got Mike in the chat saying Book for 40 tonight. Lonnie says Book for 55. I could see it. I could always see it with Devin Booker, who's averaging 27 points in the month of January. However, they're going to need more than just Booker and Kevin Durant. We had Lenny in the chat saying, I feel like Richards is going to eat tonight. Steven, who besides the big two are you looking at and saying you must step up to pivot the Suns away from their losing ways that they had against Minnesota the other night?
Grayson Allen. It's Grayson Allen for me. Golden State is one of the better teams in the league defending the three-point line. Grayson gets some of the most attention outside of the Suns' big three. If he can leverage the three-point line, but also get into his bag in terms of his drives and the impact that those have, and him finishing below the free throw line, if not getting a paint touch and getting the Warriors in a rotation from there, I think that's a piece that the Suns could lean into in a game like this, where they're going to be conceding a lot of attention to, obviously, KD, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal.
It's Royce O'Neal for me. You need Royce O'Neal to find his stroke again, because that relieves a lot of pressure in a lot of areas, right? Royce back to the bench after starting the last handful of games. You need him to find a rhythm, especially from deep, and I think that can wind up the snowball effect offensively, where other guys start to find their rhythm because he relieves the pressure when he starts to hit from deep.
Speaking of finding their stroke, I'm going to go with Ryan Dunn tonight as my X factor, because he's back in the starting lineup, just selected as a rising star. And I do think that's, for a guy like him, late first-round pick, right, just coming back from injury, that's going to motivate him a little bit. Plus, Ryan Dunn, like we mentioned, Steven and I went back and forth about, should he have guarded Julius Randle? Is he built to kind of guard players like that? Well, we know he's built to be a perimeter defensive threat. And that's a pretty big threat, not just with Steph Curry. Buddy Hield can light it up from three. This Warriors team can take a lot of threes if they want to. Ryan Dunn is going to be very important. I want everybody to drop down in the chat who you think steps up big for the Suns tonight. Is it Durant? Is it Booker? Is it somebody we haven't mentioned yet? And also drop your score predictions as we take a look at what we think is happening tonight. Now, no Gerald on the show. He is flying out to Minnesota for a baby shower. So we love him dearly. We wish him the best, but this is what Gerald has as far as his pick tonight. Gerald is going with the Suns by 4, just like Steven. I'm going Suns by 3. Espo, your classic Espo fashion, Suns by 1.
I have no clue what team's going to
hell of a
up.
hedge.
Like, that's what it is. I mean, if I could just do the shrug emoji, that would be my guess most nights, because I don't know with this team. I don't know who's going to show up, and I don't know how it's going to play out. And that is not a good feeling, because I got a stat for you when we get to the line for the night that'll blow your mind a little bit.
Well, before my mind gets blown, Steven, Suns by 4, the largest margin of victory that we have tonight. Still a close one.
I think it's going to be close. These games typically have some late game adversities that come up. This high entertainment value when KD and Steph are on the court. I think this game will align with that. I think the Suns have a little bit more offense than the Warriors' defense can off-put if it comes down to shot making in the clutch. And that's why I think they come away with the win.
Since you're an expert on who Ryan Dunn should be guarding, the Hailstorm in the chat says, who is he going to guard tonight? Do you think he'll be on Steph a lot?
Well, last time they played, he guarded Steph. Wasn't a great job, but Steph wasn't healthy in that game. So it will be a heavy dose of Ryan Dunn, but naturally with the many screens he runs through and the many miles that he runs on the game, it's not going to be Ryan Dunn often finishing possessions against him. So if he can pressure him full court, make him work a little bit harder than normal, he did his job.
I think that's the key. You just got to make him work, get him a little more tired than he conventionally would be. You know that Steph will hit some of those crazy shots regardless of who's guarding him. But it's about not making it easy on him tonight. And I think that's why you see Ryan Dunn back in the starting lineup, is because you want him on Steph early in offense.
And he better play more than 9 minutes tonight, too.
Oh, man. No, if he's not playing 25 minutes in this game, we're going to have some issues. But to that point in making stuff work, it's one thing to try to pressure him on offense. There's only so much you can do without the inevitable whistles blown. Defensively, for the Warriors, the Suns have to make him work. Same way they targeted James Harden. The best way to take away Steph Curry's effectiveness, and I put take away in parentheses, or quotations, because you have to make them work. You can't just let them go out there and guard Ryan Dunn and just be chilling off the ball all game. KD stuff, put him in pick and roll, make him guard one of you two in primary actions and eat away at his legs.
Well, to me, it also says you can't just jam Tyus Jones in the corner and have him stand there, because Steph can just stand there against him too. You got to find ways to get Tyus involved offensively, so there isn't an easy guy that he can just go stand near, whether it's Ryan or it's Tyus. You're gonna have to be creative tonight in making him work on the defensive end too.
Well, Espo, you teased it, and now it's all I can think about. What number do you have for the line? Because this is the line courtesy to our friends over at Bet365. That, of course, being Suns -1 on the spread, -115 on the money line. Money line for the Warriors, -105, spread +1 point. Basically a pickup.
Okay. So the odds makers usually know how to do this almost accurately in most cases, right?
Okay.
They know how to do that. This team is the worst team in the NBA against the spread this year.
Wow, the worst.
I saw that stat. The Suns are the worst team in the NBA against the spread. You know what that says to me? Even the odds makers don't know what this team is. And that's, if they don't, I'm not going to act like I do, because I don't have billions on riding on knowing it. I just have what we make, and that it's not billions. So.
That line was the shrug emoji.
Yeah.
I'll say this. You certainly got one thing right. You don't have billions, especially when it comes to our Bet365 betting competition, as you're about, what, like -450, -6,000?
I'm about to win. So
About to win?
I'm about to be in first.
So let's get into it. This is our pregame picks presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHNX365 when you sign up and find out why, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in AZ. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT-STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. And speaking of problem gambling, we have Mr. Problem Gambling over here. That's Espo. Espo, how are you winning all your money back tonight?
Look. After tonight, you're going to be crying like Sean was because Sophie Cunningham's out. I got a plus 4,500 bet, all right? I had it at plus 32,000 at one point today, but I said, you know what? I'm going to step it back. I don't want to blow you guys out here this early. I have Kevin Durant, 25-plus points. Devin Booker, 25-plus points. Bradley Beal, 10-plus points. Devin Booker over 5.5 points in the first quarter. Mason Plumlee over 0.5 points in the first quarter. Nick Richards, 18.5 points and rebounds. Kevin Durant, 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And Nick Richards, 3-plus points in the first quarter. That is a plus 4,500, and I will be in the lead after this evening.
I think out of all of that, the longest shot is Mason Plumlee over half a point in the first quarter.
It's going to happen.
Maybe half a point in the whole game.
It's going to happen.
Steven.
It might be.
I don't think you went as crazy as Espo, even though you have before. What are you doing tonight?
I'm chilling, man. Y'all doing a lot of sweating over there. We like barely passed the halfway mark. I got Devin Booker over 6.5 assists in this one. He's been averaging a fair share of assists against the Warriors. They like to put a lot of pressure on him from help, so the passing lanes will be there. Kevin Durant has been knocking down north of almost 4 threes a game over the last 4-ish games or so. I think the way the Warriors are going to be guarding Devin Booker will present him with opportunities to get up to three-point attempts. And as Espo mentioned earlier this week, that's what they're trying to get back in alignment with. I don't think the Suns get to 114.5 points in this one. Warriors' opponents are averaging about 111 and some change on the season, and they just held the Oklahoma City Thunder to 109 the other night. And then the last one for me, Brandon Podziemski, an engine for their team offensively outside of Stephen Curry. He's been a piece that really initiates or connects offense for them. I think he gets over 2.5 assists in this one.
I'm going to say this. If the Suns don't score 115 points tonight, they're losing.
Oof.
I think if you think they're going to win by 4, you're going to lose your bet.
But the Warriors ain't averaging that many points this season. They're averaging about 107-ish.
It's going to be a track meet.
I hear you.
Which means this is going to be a 95-90 game tonight. So
let's get to the real winning bet.
If it helps my bet, I'm all with it. Now,
as far as I'm aware,
you can go ahead and get comfortable in your lead for about 7 days.
As far as I'm aware, only one of us is winning. And that's
They've been waiting all season
that's me.
to say that. He just got the chance to do it.
Just got the chance. It's been like 2 weeks.
You know how much fun it's going to be when he loses this
Oh,
thing?
you're talking.
I don't care who
you
it's
made me make you a banner last year for one bet that you had.
Yeah, I didn't talk my trash until until the end.
No, get out of here.
I didn't talk my trash
Get
till
out
the
of
end.
here.
Hey,
Get
look,
out of here.
look,
You
the
are
new guy. The
lying
new
to
guy
the
wants
people.
to just pat himself on the
New
back,
guy.
act like he knows everything. And that he's some
Second most
demigod.
tenured person on this entire
That's
broadcast right
demigod,
here. Okay,
right?
new guy.
In front of the camera,
Let's
that's
take
our
a
boy
look.
over there.
Let's take a look at the winning bet for tonight from our winner so far. It's a simple one, the lowest odds, because I ain't swinging for the fences. I don't have to. Kevin Durant over 36.5 PRA. Devin Booker over 37.5 PRA. KD over 2.5 3-pointers made. KD over 1.5 stocks. It's a big two kind of night, and that's a plus 880.
You said not swinging for the fences, and you got KD and Devin Booker's PRA in your bet.
They could never be good together. He has Mason Plumlee in his slip.
I'm not
You
talking
have
about,
Brandon Podetsky in
I'm
your
not
slip.
talking about Espo. I'm not talking about Espo. I'm talking about you.
Listen.
You talking
We'll
about
see.
not swinging for the
You want to
fences?
know what else everybody talked to me
I'm
about?
just
Putting
saying.
Keon Johnson in a bet. Guess what hit? Keon Johnson PRA.
Hold on, you give me a hard time because I won because I hit like one big bet. That's what you've
I've
accomplished.
hit like 7 or 8 bets this year. I hit one big bet, and I've hit a bunch of other bets too, and I've done it all on Bet365.
7 or 8 is crazy.
We love.
You can't
I will track it.
That's the
I will
beauty
track
of
it.
it.
I guarantee it.
Next year we should do it on wins bet wise.
Oh, that's so stupid. Because then I'm
That
just gonna
should
take Devin Booker 15 points every single game.
Okay, maybe it's a combination of bets won and money.
You want to
won.
weigh it? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe we'll attack a new way. Once I win, everybody's gonna want
You're
to
not
change.
going to win.
Everybody's
going to
want to change it, okay? All right, let's get this back on track. Let's stop worshiping the betting god over here, and let's talk about the basketball gods.
Y'all
What are the
hear
Suns?
that? Bookmark this episode, please.
Obviously, I'm
I
playing
ain't said
into a
nothing
bit.
this
I
whole
think I'm
time.
negative. I think we're all in the negative. I haven't looked at our standings in a really long time. I think we're all negative.
Nah, I think you just barely treading water. I'm negative right now, though.
Okay, I'm probably like plus like 68 cents. Anyway, Milo says Ryan Dunn made the Rising Stars. It feels fantastic. What do we need to see out of the Suns tonight in order to feel fantastic? Because not only is this the Butler Bowl, not only is this KD playing against his old team, not only is Booker playing after being snubbed from an All-Star game, the Warriors are half a game back from the Suns, who are in the 9 seed. The Warriors at the 11 seed right now, tied with the Sacramento Kings. A loss tonight would bump Phoenix, I believe, out of the play-in tournament entirely, which is pretty slim margins overall, but you never want to drop outside of that for this team.
Show me some heart. Show me some killer instinct. Show me the ability to weather a storm that will likely come in the name of Stephen Curry. I need to see that. You got to give me a reason to believe that there's even a reason to make some big deal going into next Thursday. Show me a pulse. Show me that you can play against a team. This isn't a great Warriors team. This is the Warriors with a great player in Steph Curry. I need to see you do it in that situation.
Yep. I mean, he said it all. He said it all. You got to show up. You just have to show up and play to the execution levels that you need to beat this Warriors team. They're not going to roll over even if you do go up 20 in the second quarter. Are you going to do the things you need to do to finish the game in the winning side of things and not just win for a majority of the game?
Yeah, I mean, even the Clippers game they won, they folded. I know. I watched it from a bar in Denver. I can tell you that. All right, and that's the thing. We have not seen this team show that killer instinct at all this year.
Nathan giving some free betting advice in the chat. I might have to take that. Nathan, slide in my DMs. Let's make a champion continue to be a champion.
All he said was you can bet unders. Like that.
He says, not fun but profitable. From someone who works for a sports betting company here on YouTube, unders pay the bills. Interesting. I'm going to have to write that one down because unlike most champions, I'm always learning. And even though I'm not a champion at all, I've just deemed myself that. What I'm looking at tonight specifically is Mike Budenholzer's rotations.
There's only one champion on this set.
For now.
It's two.
I
might not have won a betting championship, but I'm coming
it's
off
called
the
manifesting, okay? Manifesting,
or talking
learn about
crazy.
it.
There's a fine line.
Everybody's talking crazy so they go and do it.
I ain't been talking crazy. And I had to leave for the longest season. You ain't heard me say nothing crazy.
We're a little bit different. We
you
attack things
just
a little bit
realized
differently.
that.
Just
That's
a little
crazy.
bit. Yes, and that's why we work so well, baby. This is what I'm looking at tonight. It's Mike Budenholzer's rotations. Obviously, Ryan Dunn is starting after only playing 9 minutes. He said Dunn was fully healthy. We saw Nick Richards not close the game against the Clippers, even though he said Nick Richards was fully healthy. I want to leave tonight's game not scratching my head about one or two big moves that were or were not made from Mike Budenholzer. I want to see a cohesive game plan, cohesive rotations, and I hope we can get that in form of a win. Thank you, Kevin, Nathan, Sean, Strikeout, hello, Humble Rumble, Melissa, everybody in the chat, my dad in the chat. Thank you to all of you, over 220 who are in here right now. A bunch of you filling in over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Wild Horse Pass will be here for the entire game, plus a post-game show. So if you're in the area and you still want to come say hi, it's absolutely free. Fully encourage you to do that, but if you can't, just as good. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notifications bell. Let us know what you love about the show. Let us know what you think about the Suns tonight. And win or loss, we will be here post-game, just a couple minutes after the final buzzer on PHNX Sports. We'll be talking the game, and we'll be getting into the latest trade rumors. All you got to do is be there.
We all silly like the mayor.